I honestly just got so triggered by Caitlin Clark's golf debut, and it is no fault of hers that I got upset. It is the fault of the WNBA.
It's official, guys. WNBA is absolutely fuming right now, as Caitlin Clark's having the time of her life at the LPGA event during the offseason. From posting fake tweets about Caitlin Clark to throwing temper tantrums like a child, the WNBA has officially lost it.
I mean, it's just more proof of the impact and motion, as the kids say, that Caitlin Clark has. She's at this LPGA golf event, has me paying attention. I don't watch golf. I didn't even watch golf when Tiger Woods was playing.
So what has changed? Why is the WNBA losing its mind over Clark's happiness? Is it jealousy, anger, or something else entirely? And trust me, this is something far greater than just one event.
Now, with Caitlin Clark enjoying her off-season, hanging out with friends, making TikToks, playing golf, the WNBA continues to throw shade at her.
Stay tuned till the end, guys, because you won't want to miss out on fake tweets done by the WNBA and the possible reasons for the WNBA's hate against Caitlin Clark.
And she's really talking about how many people came out to this thing. I really would have liked to got a number, because my gut feeling is this thing was in the thousands of people that showed up to see Caitlin Clark play golf. I mean, is there anything this young lady can't do?
Let's be honest. Considering the huge amount of fans which thronged the sidelines, it won't be an exaggeration to say that LPGA's reaction to Caitlin Clark's presence was swift and strategic. They saw her not just as a basketball player, but as a magnet for untapped audiences, especially younger fans who might never have considered women's golf before.
The LPGA, you can see when it came to them that they were happy that Caitlin Clark was there. They knew exactly the value that Caitlin Clark brought to the whole event. They saw how important it was that new fans were getting involved in golf, especially women's golf.
Now, if we were to contrast this response with the WNBA, it will only be described as lackluster and depressing, instead of embracing Clark's universal appeal and the new fans she could bring. WNBA authorities started viewing her popularity not as an opportunity to widen their game, but ironically, as a threat.
It is the fault of the WNBA because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one day.
Yes, that's correct. The LPGA has done everything it could to promote Caitlin Clark, a WNBA star having no professional relationship with their game and nothing to do with their organization. Yet, they have managed to shower her with the respect she deserved in her own league, the WNBA.
Now, the WNBA tweeted last week about her assists. At the Indiana Fever floor general, Caitlin Clark made wonders happen with the ball in her hands, and this was kind of a highlight reel. It's a now deleted tweet.
The WNBA had posted a seemingly innocent highlight of Caitlin's assist records on Twitter, and you wouldn't notice anything weird at first glance. After all, it is the official handle of the WNBA franchise. It's not as if they would post anything fake or misleading about Clark, right? Right?
It was kind of a highlight reel of Caitlin Clark assists. However, they put the wrong number of assists in the post and actually got community noted on Twitter. So the readers added context. This community note says the WNBA has posted fake stats. Caitlin Clark has 337 assists, not 321.
Can you believe this? WNBA's official handle actually posted a fake statistic about Caitlin Clark. I mean, how difficult it is to post an accurate stat, especially when it is the WNBA who has all the records in its possession. On top of that, the season's already over, so the stats aren't going to change anytime soon.
Now, you would think this would be such an easy post to get correct because the WNBA is actually the one who is holding these statistics. These statistics are on the official WNBA site. They know how many assists that she has had. So with that, after hearing the backlash and getting community noted, they simply just deleted the tweet. They haven't posted anything since.
Wow, looks like somebody's upset. Instead of changing the stat or posting the real number of assists, WNBA actually took down the tweet. This really speaks about their professionalism. But here's where things get juicier. Somebody had to post the real stats, and Fever took the job on themselves.
Now, in response to that, the Indiana Fever posted about Caitlin Clark. They said, point guard Caitlin Clark this season, WNBA leader in assists per games, 8.4, most assists in a season. In WNBA history, 337. And it's funny because the top comment here says, damn, do we have to do your job for you, WNBA, question mark? And it says admin, probably.
I mean, literally dumbfounded by WNBA's mockery of their best player. It was a good thing that Indiana Fever posted this, but honestly, this is too much. WNBA has really disrespected Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin, you were playing with world number one Nelly Korda on your first nine. And
yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, that you were playing with Annika Sorsheim on the back nine. So
yeah, I think I'm just excited, honestly. I'm not a professional golfer by any means, so I think just having fun and like getting to be with, two of the best to, probably ever play this game. It's super fun and special for me. Like, I'm a fan of both of them, but a fan of, all the women on this tour. I think it's absolutely incredible. So it's special for myself. I've tried to practice as much as I can. I mean, I'm just the average golfer, gonna hit some good, gonna hit some bad.
I mean, think about it. It's the first 9 holes of her golf event, and she's not playing with a relatively new player like herself, but with the best women's golfer in the entire nation. This goes on to show that the LPGA really knows the worth of a player like Caitlin Clark, and they have nothing but respect for her.
And Clark is going to be paired up with Nelly Korda and have her warm-up and a mid-round interview live streamed. So Nelly Korda is the #1 women's golfer in the country. And I think that this is absolutely brilliant. The LPGA is so smart for teaming Caitlin Clark up with their #1 golfer. This is the perfect marketing opportunity. I cannot wait to see how many people tune into this event. Like, the fact that wherever Caitlin goes, people follow is something that is truly impressive. So
on the other hand, the WNBA has utterly failed Caitlin Clark in welcoming her as a rookie or treating her as a fellow professional player, similar to Asia Wilson, Diana Taurasi, Dejanai Carrington, and Angel Reese.
The WNBA has been ignored for 27 years. Now it comes with not just an incremental increase of media attention and fan attention, but with a monumental increase of media attention and fan attention. And no one in the WNBA was prepared to handle this. They have bad leadership in Kathy Engelbert. They have bad leadership in Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA. These are weak, ineffectual leaders that don't know what they're doing. They've been installed. They don't have any real instincts. They're not qualified for their jobs.
I mean, think about it. Clark is a generational talent, and she has uplifted an entire franchise. Despite achieving all of these accolades in a record amount of time, her parent league does not appreciate her.
In the case of Caitlin Clark, it is completely different because Caitlin Clark was able to achieve something that no other woman in the history of women's basketball has been able to accomplish. Caitlin Clark was able to get millions of people to actually watch. Whether she won a title or not, the legacy of Caitlin Clark, it was already established.
Want to know the bitter truth? WNBA has failed not only Caitlin Clark, but also their fans. For ages now, the WNBA was unknown to the popular audience, and people were surprised to hear the women's edition of the NBA, or if it was even a real thing. But after Clark's debut, everything changed. People started noticing, and along with the eyeballs came some much-needed money. But here's the kicker. The WNBA is still in the red. The WNBA is expected to lose $50 million this season despite its major rise in popularity. The WNBA hasn't turned a profit in its 3 decades of existence. Can you believe it? The WNBA has failed to earn a single penny of profit during the last 30 years since they started. If this doesn't convince you of their mismanagement, honestly, nothing will.
Caitlin Clark's golf debut just made me so upset with the WNBA. So I talked about it in a previous video, how this Pro-Am event originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who were emailing the organization saying, how can we watch Caitlin? Can we come to the event? Can you live stream it? All of these things. And it ended up being put on television. And that was great. Fans were really excited about that. There was so much buzz online. She was trending on Twitter, all of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event.
That's correct. The LPGA authorities were not going to televise the event, but due to the fan pressure, they ultimately decided in the best interest of the Clark fans, and boy, they did not regret it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Adrian Ross Show. the basketball edition. And though this is the basketball edition, what I've been hearing people talk about and people being interested in this week is golf. Yeah, golf. I have paid more attention to golf than I have probably since Tiger Woods came on the scene and absolutely transformed the golf world. But
people are excited because their favorite star is going to play in the LPGA Golf Tour. And it is clear that most of these people are not diehard fans of golf because of the rapid spike in attendance levels. Many analysts have even suggested that golf didn't seem so interesting since the time Tiger Woods came in.
Because we know in the WNBA, when it came to Caitlin Clark, it was a lot of like, we don't need you and we were good before and we don't like your fans and this, that, and everything. Just absolutely anything that could have, that they could have done, they did. They did everything they could to sabotage their own league.
Absolutely. WNBA has smothered Caitlin Clark both physically and mentally by letting her get assaulted on the court. On top of that, many players loyal to the league have smeared Clark's reputation as a white supremacist. They have also made questionable remarks by allegedly claiming that she and her fans support racism and bigotry.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. When we had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it. And
this is absolutely wild. We have already seen how the WNBA and their favored players shamelessly targeted Caitlin Clark. And you know what's worse? There's literally no proof. None. Nada. In fact, all of these allegations are almost as realistic as a pink unicorn. In fact, I would argue that a pink unicorn seems more plausible in this comparison. Now, coming back to the LPGA Tour, Caitlin Clark was paired with the USA's best female golfer, and this was a brilliant move.
And they also did something really smart by pairing her up with their currently #1 golfer in the world, and her name is Nelly Korda. So there are photos of Caitlin and Nelly literally everywhere, and the LPGA was so smart in doing this because they knew that there would be so many eyeballs on Caitlin. So if they put their #1 golfer, who is currently leading the sport and pushing the sport ahead, if they put her next to Caitlin for the entire event, that's just great. It's great for Nelly and it's great for everyone else.
Pairing a basketball superstar with the golf's finest was like a match made in promotional heaven, and it worked like a charm. The Annika Pro AM event was all over the news, and it went viral on social media as well.
You see just how big a figure Caitlin Clark is when you watch that tournament, and you see stuff like this, right? Like Beth Ann Nichols' video here.
Guys, she's gonna come down the rope line, okay?
Can you believe this crowd? This is a live example of the genius level marketing that they pulled off.
And was alongside Nelly Korda and Annika Sorenstam. And apparently it looks like she had a really good time. But we also got some laughs in the process because Caitlin Clark, with that club in her hand, nearly took out some heads. And it ended up being a funny, light moment. And she commented on that, and she said, when she saw the video of it, she said, "This is the greatest video ever," she wrote in a comment. And she also said, "I'm so real."
Yes, while it was a professional event, Caitlin didn't fail to make us laugh by mistargeting some unfortunate fans with her shot.
They did everything they could to sabotage their own league. And yeah, it backfired. For me anyway, I think it's hard to argue that it didn't completely backfire for them because Caitlin Clark is more popular than ever.
That's correct. You can argue Caitlin Clark is enjoying the peak of her popularity after her debut season. And her haters? Well, they have faded into obscurity ever since the season's end.
The players that didn't try to play victim the whole year became more popular than ever, as in, like, obviously, Caitlin herself, but Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Kate Martin, Lexi Hull, Fee Collier. Even by the end of the year, Diana Taurasi, when people realized, okay, yeah, Diana Taurasi's not this, like, Caitlin Clark hater, like, her kind of popularity increased. The likes of Sophie Cunningham became more popular.
Caitlin's fellow teammates, as well as other players who welcomed her and cheered for her, are now in a much better situation than her haters. That really shows you who the WNBA should have supported back in the season.